It is a somewhat breezy morning on the Frugal Gardener's Homestead. This is the Frugal Nephew's 2, his new birdhouse. And I decided to do a late spring tour. I was going to wait until early summer, but so much has been going on, I decided to give you guys a chance to catch up with me. There's a couple of weird looking mushrooms here. If you know what kind of mushrooms these are, just drop a comment below. Okay, so as you can see, this is the much improved potato bed. I planted these potatoes probably 3 weeks ago, and I'm guessing that there's a bit too much nitrogen in the soil because these things sprung up. It seemed like it was overnight. I mean, I'm happy with it, but at the same token, I wish that the growth was more underground than above ground. So I have 5 different types of potatoes here, and they are doing well. I can't complain. I'm going to have to add some more soil to these, mound these, because a couple of these are peeping out, and that's not good. So that's something that I'm going to have to tend to. This is the Frugal Nephew's bed, which he's going to do next week. One of the things I realized being out here is that I have a lot more to tend to, and keeping up by myself. I mean, I do get help from time to time, but this is one of the trees we planted last year, and this I think is the chestnut tree that we planted last year. Anyway, um, it's a lot. I have over 30 different types of vegetables and plants, and you will notice there's not been a lot of weeding going on because just keeping up with this has been a chore. These are the beans I planted. I did a video on this. These bottles are here for a reason. I don't need them anymore. I just planted these beans probably 2 weeks ago, and they're coming up real well. I have no complaints about that either. So I put these posts in the ground so they can grow up on the posts, but yeah, either they do or they don't. As long as I get beans, I'm happy. So moving on from the beans to the, I call this my giant bag. This is all these, everything in here. These are all tomatoes, and this netting is courtesy of my best friend, Pat. She gave me a couple of these, and this is the first usage that I have for them to keep the critters out. All this needs to be watered. A lot of this needs to be weeded. This is what's left of my bok choy. Uh, that's pretty well shot. There's a little bit in here that can be used, but for the most part, that's done. One of the major changes that you will notice is this fence is gone. It has been repurposed like I do much of the things here on the homestead. I needed a fence for the chickens we're about to get. So this looks pretty disgusting right now, but trust me, somewhere in here is blueberries. I don't want to destroy anything. This looks like the blueberries in here, and there's also a grapevine. Believe it or not, the stuff is labeled. You just have to get in here and get this fencing, get this these netting out without destroying what's left here. This is the grapevine here, I'm pretty sure of it. There's the blueberries here. And also in here, are strawberries. So now that this fence is gone, it was kind of awkward. It was difficult for me to get in here and get around. I'm not a small guy, and I thought this was going to be big enough. You can see from the post what the dimensions were. It went all the way down to here. All these posts will be pulled up and reused. So trust me, there's food in there. So let's go. Well, I can walk through here now. Let's go through here, and I'm going to show you something that I have not shown you before, which is, again, the purpose of this update. These are the garlic, which need to be watered, but this is not doing well. Something came through here and trampled on my onions, so I am probably going to pull this up. The Frugal nephew is going to plant peanuts in here supposedly tomorrow, so I may just give him this whole area here to do whatever he wants to do. This is going to be lettuce, but that's not what I had to show you. This is what I want you guys to see. I showed you this in the spring update. This was something that I'm really excited about. The Frugal son-in-law built this for me. It's my take on frugal culture, which you basically mound all kinds of organic material. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. I'm trying to keep this video relatively short, but underneath there are sticks and branches and mulch and leaves and all sorts of material that you find on the ground in the forest. This was about a half a foot taller. It's supposed to sink, it's supposed to go and drop down, and in the meantime I'm using the material to grow these potatoes. If you look closely, you'll see there's potatoes all over the place. There's small ones, there's medium-sized ones. Well, they're potato plants, but they will be potatoes. Here, they were all up in here. I had these left over from what I got from my son-in-law from Braxton County. And up here, all in here, these are sweet potatoes that I recently planted that are starting to take hold. And if you're wondering why the potatoes look healthier than the sweet potatoes, it's because I just transplanted the sweet potatoes a few days ago. And these potatoes, I'm going to have to cover this up a little better in here, but you can see these are doing pretty good. So I'm happy about that. This is something, like I said, this is brand new. This will work. This will be here for years. And I'm anxious to see how many potatoes I get out of this huge mound come the fall. It takes about 3 months for the potatoes to grow. Now, something else, another reason why I wanted to show you guys the garden now, because the last time we came this way, there wasn't much going on here. And I'm showing you this from a distance because there's a new addition. This is fencing that I'm working on. It's not complete yet, but this is 7-foot high netting. And this is what's going to keep the deer out. And it makes me happy. So right now, this is what's left of it. I did a video on it. I'll run it. I'll post it so you guys can see it. These are cherries. These are cherries. These two are a work in progress. Here we come to the fun stuff now. This is the good stuff. Not these guys here. These guys were trees I brought up from the other property that didn't make it. But here, watermelon, planted in May. Cantaloupe, planted in May. Like I told you, guys, I get help sometimes when the Frugal son-in-law comes up. But other than that, I'm on my own, so I am behind with the weeding. In here, I'm learning to mark things. This is the honeydew. You have a vine here, a vine here, and is this part of the same one? Okay, 3 vines. That's pushing it, but I have 3 vines of honeydew coming up in here. These you probably recognize. These are tomatoes. So these are indeterminate tomatoes. And one of the family favorites, cucumbers, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to have to stake these. You can see the buds coming up. This was covered, which was bad. I mean, it was good and it was bad. It was good because it kept the critters out, but it was bad because it kept the pollinators out, the bees. So now that's been removed, they can get to taking care of their business, and we can have some vegetables and fruit this summer while I try and figure out how to get out of here. This is my little door. I'm going to have to do a better job of fixing this up so that I can get in and out. All right. So there's still a few things left that I have to show you guys. We're almost done. So my disaster du jour. The biggest problem I had in my spring garden is this. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, why you don't take shortcuts. Over the winter, this was red Russian kale, which did okay. And then I pulled it out. I ran the tiller across this. I added more soil. And you can see some of the kale is coming back. But I don't want kale. I want carrots. So the weeds took over. And now this has to be done over again. This is my project for tomorrow. I gotta get out here, get all this pulled up, and then I have to add more soil and replant the carrots. But that's okay. I mean, that's gardening. Everything's not always going to go the way you want it to go. This was from my buy it or build it a couple of days ago. I'm actually growing lettuce in here, romaine lettuce. So, something else I'm happy about, not the weeds, the squash. This is kind of a weird story, an odd story. I did this and this and this. These were all from starters. I took them out of the house a couple of weeks ago, planted them in the ground before all this, these weeds grew up around them. This I planted from seed. This I planted from seed, and the reason is because I wanted to stagger my harvest. So by planting them weeks apart, you know, you get harvest weeks apart, right? Well, maybe not, because the way these guys are coming up, they're going to probably catch up to the ones that I transplanted, and I'm going to get all this squash at once. I have more starters on the other side, but for now, if I get 3 or 4 off of each one of these, and I have 5 of these, that's 20 squash. So if you guys have any squash recipes or any ideas on how to freeze this, you can put that in the comments below also, because I don't plan on wasting any of this. So this you've already seen, nothing to do here. Almost done. Coming down to this, which also has to be weeded. Okay, this is my black mission figs. For some reason, this survived the winter and this didn't. So I'll put something else in here. Over here are my bell peppers. You can see those coming up here. There's 2 in here. These are in a grow bag. I've learned to not use these in the winter anymore. Now, over here, this looks like cucumbers and also beans. These 3 guys here, it's a mystery. I planted peas 2 or 3 times. I don't know whether this is in the wrong location because of the heat or what. I just know that this is what the end result is. So these guys are going to be coming up, and I'm going to probably put cantaloupe in here tomorrow. So again, getting towards the end, these are all green beans, which I'm really happy about because there they are. I cannot complain about the beans. These are, I put bush beans and pole beans in here, which I usually don't do, but look at this. This is great. So I'm happy about this. Comes all the way down here behind me. This is kind of a work in progress. Everything in these blue coffee cans is sage. This is what it looks like. I don't know why this one took off, the other ones didn't. So I'm going to transfer some of these into the other blue pots. This is eucalyptus. And everything in these red pots are supposed to be lavender. And that did not go the way I expected it to go. So I will just take the lavender from down here. I have all this lavender that I never intended to stay in this pot to begin with. This was supposed to have been temporary, and it took off. Did extremely well. So I'll take some of the lavender from here, and I will put it in these red pots and distribute it around the homestead. To be more specific, distribute it around the garden, because I'm hoping that that will keep the critters away, because they don't like the smell of sage or lavender. So we'll see. Seen this before. This is my olive tree, and these are my dwarf banana and orange trees. And I did a buy to build it. These are carrots, yes, carrots growing inside a dish pan. So they're doing well. There's a bunch of stuff over here that I'm going to talk to you guys about later. I'm not going to go into that right now. And the last thing is this guy here, which you've also seen. This was a buy to build it project. I'm going to probably pluck this guy out. There's too many in here anyway. So that's it. We made it. We did it. We made it through the whole tour. We are approaching summer, and I'm going to probably do a harvest video for these beans, and probably another one for the squash. But we are on our way. It is early June. Things are going great. I hope things are going great in your garden. I hope you share this with your friends. Come back again. Keep up with what I'm doing. And remember that this is a work in progress. That I will always, I don't think I'll ever be finished. A garden this size, there's always something to do, which is cool. Keeps me out of trouble. So for now, I'm the Frugal Gardener. And remember what I always tell you guys. When you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. Catch you with a new video in a few days. Have a great day.